July 20th, 2025 didn't just break the news cycle, it shattered it. The world gasped when word spread that Malcolm Jamal Warner, forever remembered as Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show, had drowned in Costa Rica. The shock of his passing was massive, but the real jaw-dropper came later. After his funeral, Warner's secret archive, guarded for years like buried treasure, was cracked open. And what spilled out? Not the usual dusty trophies. We're talking unseen family photos, raw handwritten letters, hints of a man living a double life far away from Hollywood. Polished script. This hidden collection peeled back layers of an enigma fans thought they knew. Warner's story began in Jersey City, New Jersey, born August 18, 1970. During America's turbulent cultural shifts, even his name carried weight. Malcolm, after Malcolm X and Jamal, honoring jazz legend Ahmad Jamal. From the start, his mother, Pamela Warner, saw destiny in him, a boy balancing strength with sensitivity, artistry with determination. Raised in a modest home, his path was never ordinary, and clearly, neither were the secrets he left behind. His parents split early, leaving his mother as both his rock and his first manager. Pamela Warner quickly spotted his obsession with performance. When he was barely 7 or 8, catching him glued to the mirror, mimicking TV characters, reciting lines like his life depended on it. Wasting no time, she pushed him into acting classes and later the Professional Children's School in New York, a launchpad for prodigies. By 1979, at just 9%, Warner was already booking commercials and kids' theater gigs, sharpening the camera stare, steadying his gaze, and learning how to bend his voice. Skills that would cement his legacy. Then came the twist of fate in 1984. NBC was hunting for fresh faces for a new sitcom called The Cosby Show. Over 200 teens clawed at the chance to play Theodore, Theo Huxtable, the awkward but lovable eldest son. At only 13, Malcolm Jamal Warner crushed the competition. That one audition catapulted him into stardom and stamped him as a defining face of African-American youth on primetime TV. From its debut, The Cosby Show didn't just succeed, detonated, dominating ratings and rewriting pop culture history. For years, Nielsen ratings crowned the show king. As Theo, Malcolm Jamal Warner became America's eldest son, and by 16, in 1986, he even snagged an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. Almost unheard of flex for a teenager. But fame wasn't just red carpets, it came strapped with crushing pressure. Malcolm juggled high school while grinding through a brutal 39-week filming schedule every year. Even so, his heart never strayed from music. He picked up the bass, vibed with jazz, funk, and R&B, and often slipped into New York jazz clubs to soak up wisdom from old-school legends. Those teenage years were a collision of Jersey normalcy and Hollywood chaos. Luckily, his mother's steady mantra, "Don't let the spotlight blind you. Remember who you are and where you come from," kept him grounded while other child stars burned out. The newly cracked open archive unearthed keepsakes from this era: a candid photo of him clutching his bass, a faded ticket stub from an Ahmad Jamal concert in 1982, and a handwritten note from his mother, proof of roots, anchoring a boy already orbiting stardom. Changing audition in 1984. "No matter the outcome, you've already made me proud." That's what Pamela Warner told her son, and she wasn't wrong. Those early years didn't just build the groundwork for a 4-decade career. They explained why his secret archive later hit so many people right in the heart. Starting with that breakout role in 1984, Malcolm Jamal Warner stepped into a career lane most teens never even sniff. The Cosby Show aired from September 20th, 1984 to April 30th, 1992, 8 seasons. 197 episodes, always topping Nielsen charts. Audiences literally watched him grow up, trading those loud sweaters for college scenes by the finale. But 8 years as Theo Huxtable was a blessing and a trap. Fame, money, and Emmy nod check. Yet he knew if he didn't play it smart, he'd be stuck forever as the Huxtable family's eldest son. That paranoia fueled him to branch out, directing episodes and chasing work beyond the sitcom bubble. When the show wrapped in 1992, he refused to coast. By 1996, he bounced back with UPN's Malcolm and Eddie, teaming with Eddie Griffin. 4 seasons later, the sitcom had proved Warner wasn't just Theo, he had sharp comedic instincts, electric chemistry, and directorial chops. And still, comedy was only one piece of his game. The 2000s flipped the script for Malcolm Jamal Warner. As he dove into heavier roles in shows like Jeremiah 2002-2004, Read Between the Lines 2011, and Major Crimes 2015. Each was a calculated move to shed Theo Huxtable's shadow and flex real acting range. Meanwhile, music, his lifelong side hustle, ran alongside, playing bass with his band Miles Long, dropping jazz and spoken word projects, hitting stages. He finally snagged a Grammy in 2015 for Best Traditional R&B Performance with Robert Glasper and Lala Hathaway on Jesus Children. That sealed it. Warner wasn't just an actor. He was legit in the music game. His TV career only got hotter through the 2010s and 2020s. From 2018 on, he nailed audiences as the sharp, sometimes thorny Dr. A.J. Austin on Fox's The Resident. Roll galaxies away from Theo, rebranding him for a new generation. But Warner wasn't stopping at acting or music. He produced, directed, and in 2024 launched the podcast Not All Hood, where he dropped unfiltered takes on culture, art, and society. Then came the gut punch. His final episode, posted to Instagram on July 18, 2025, just 2 days before his death, became a digital shrine flooded with fans' grief. After 6 years, Warner's resumed screamed longevity. Over 30 screen credits, countless directing gigs, music releases, a Grammy, and a reputation carved in multiple lanes. From being crowned America's eldest son in 1984, Malcolm Jamal Warner had transformed into a rare kind of artist, resilient, multi-talented, and unforgettable. A well-rounded artist to the very end, Malcolm Jamal Warner knew how to guard his integrity, reinvent himself on cue, and still respect the audience that grew up watching him. His secret archive stacked with dusty film contracts, candid Malcolm and Eddie set photos, and even his 2015 Grammy ticket painted a portrait of a career, both glittering and grueling, built over for relentless decades. Buried among the nostalgia was proof of just how financially successful Warner had become. By 2025, multiple sources pegged his net worth at around $16 million. Not bad for a kid who started hustling on screen before most teens could drive. Much of that fortune came from TV and film salaries. During the peak of The Cosby Show, his per-episode pay kept climbing season after season, stacking steady cash and funding personal ventures. Post-Cosby, Warner locked in healthy contracts for Malcolm and Eddie, Read Between the Lines, and The Resident, while syndication and streaming royalties padded the bank account. His music hustle also paid dividends: album sales, miles-long performances, and collabs with heavyweights like Robert Glasper and Lala Hathaway. That 2015 Grammy didn't just raise his profile, it hiked the asking price for every gig afterward. Inside the archive sat yellowed contracts, studio pay stubs, and property papers, including a Los Angeles home and a modest East Coast apartment. According to industry insiders, Warner played the game smart-hand. He played it for keeps, alongside contracts and checks. The archive exposed something unexpected. Malcolm Jamal Warner's quiet investments in indie films and community arts projects proof he wanted a legacy bigger than just acting credits. And here's the kicker. Even with steady millions in the bank, Warner never played the Hollywood peacock. No flashy cars, no gaudy mansions plastered on tabloids. He lived modestly, prioritizing family and craft over flexing. When fans saw his financial records, They were floored by his discipline, a rare trait for someone who hit fame before puberty. But tucked between those financial files lurked the part he guarded most: a secret wife, a hidden child, and the crushing pressures of stardom. Piece it all together, and you saw a man entirely different from the glossy public image. His secrecy wasn't scandal for scandal's sake, was boundaries. He showed the world just enough to keep the career alive while stashing his family, his fatigue, and his truest feelings in a vault few ever accessed. These weren't dirty secrets, they were values. He protected his circle, preserved his peace, and refused to let the spotlight rewrite his reality. At the center of it all, a hidden marriage. In 2015, he met a lawyer from Connecticut through a mutual friend, a friendship that slowly evolved into something deeper. In a rare, unguarded moment on his podcast, he admitted as much. He once shared, "I laid it all out, told her everything. Then one day I asked, 'What do you think about getting married?'" For him, that moment silenced every doubt he'd found his person. By 2016 or 2017, the two slipped into marriage quietly. No glossy spreads, no paparazzi circus, not even a hashtag for Malcolm Jamal Warner. It wasn't secrecy for clout. It was sacred privacy, a shield for his family's right to live normally. In 2017, their only daughter arrived. On July 2nd, he posted a black and white photo cradling his newborn with the caption, "Peaceful time with family takes on a whole new meaning." It was one of the rare times the world saw his private universe, simple, tender, and profound. After that, he only dropped crumbs, mentions of weekends at home or family dinners, but never names, never faces. For someone trapped under a spotlight since 13. That quiet retreat was his rebellion to protect what mattered most. Before marriage, Warner's romances were public, passionate, and unforgettable. His first great love was Michelle Thomas, who played Justine Phillips on The Cosby Show. They dated through the late 80s into the early 90s and remained bonded even after. When Michelle tragically died of stomach cancer in 1998, Warner never left her side. Years later, in 2015, he posted on Instagram, "If there was ever an angel who walked amongst us mere mortals, this woman was it." Those words said it all. His love life was never about tabloid mess, but deep respect for the women who shaped his journey. He later spent 7 years with Karen Molina White, another Cosby Show alum. From 2000 to 2007, the gossip mills screamed marriage, but Karen shot it down, calling their bond steady, real, and perfectly fine without paperwork or headlines. His last high-profile romance before marriage was with Oscar winner Regina King. They'd known each other since the 80s, but only sparked romantically in 2011, living together. They became one of Hollywood's golden couples, till the shock. Split on Valentine's Day 2013. Regina confessed she was blindsided, tossing the flowers he sent along with a note that read, "I still love you." Warner, true to form, stayed silent. No interviews, no clapbacks, just his trademark respect when closing chapters. That silence now feels like a pattern, never dragging old love into the gossip gutters. Yet, while romance played out, Warner was also battling professional demons. He once admitted he grew to hate playing Theo, not because of bad scripts, but because he feared being typecast forever. The Cosby Show made him America's Big Brother, but it also chained him to a shadow. He broke free by acting, not talking, directing episodes, headlining Malcolm and Eddie, then leveling up in dramas like Read Between the Lines, Major Crimes. And as Dr. A.J. Austin in The Resident. Then came a blow from the outside. The Bill Cosby scandal exploded, and the Huxtable family's squeaky clean image crumbled. Warner wasn't implicated, but the stain hit hard. He admitted it was devastating to watch something once so pure and beloved rot in the public eye. He watched something once sacred in people's hearts become tarnished. Yet Malcolm Jamal Warner didn't rush to defend or explain. He let his work and his music carry the weight. Music. His lifelong passion became his sanctuary. Playing bass, founding Miles Long, releasing albums, and performing across the map. He proved he wasn't just Theo with a mic. In 2015, he, Robert Glasper, and Lala Hathaway snagged a Grammy for Jesus Children, a career milestone that certified him as a respected artist among peers. Not a washed-up child star moonlighting. In music. To handle the weight of fame, Warner built his own survival blueprint. First, he controlled the narrative, sharing only his art and projects while ducking nosy questions about family. When pressed, he spoke in values, not details. Second, he structured his rhythm while shooting The Resident. Weekends were sacred for family, and red carpets weren't worth the trade. Third, he seized his own voice in 2024, launching the podcast Not All Hood, where he dissected culture, society, and art without media distortion. Then came the final gut punch. On July 18, 2025, he posted a new podcast episode to Instagram. Just 2 days later, tragedy struck. At 54, while vacationing in Costa Rica, Warner drowned at Playa Cocles Beach. His daughter was rescued, but he was pulled under by a rip current. His death was sudden, cruel, and devastating, leaving millions reeling. When the curtain finally closed, the truth was undeniable. His secrets were never about mystery or games, but about shielding the people and peace he loved most. The right for his family to breathe in peace, the right for past loves to be honored, and the right for himself to exist in an industry addicted to surveillance. That's why when the secret vault cracked open, the unseen family snapshots, the handwritten love notes to his wife, and the haunting reminders reading, "Protect what matters most. Don't let the spotlight blind you," left the world frozen. These weren't trinkets. They were receipts of how Malcolm Jamal Warner lived, loving fiercely, choosing silence. The shock of Malcolm Jamal Warner's death stormed across entertainment desks and left Hollywood paralyzed. Costa Rica's national police dropped the report. Warner was vacationing with his wife and daughter in the Caribbean region. That morning, the family visited Playa Cocles, a beach legendary for its beauty, but infamous for deadly rip currents. Skies clear, waves calm. The illusion of safety fooled everyone. Witnesses swear Warner waded in with his daughter, laughing near shore. When, without warning, a vicious rip current snatched them both, locals and lifeguards dove in. His daughter made it back alive. Warner didn't. Dragged deeper, farther, until found lifeless. By the time they hauled him in, his pulse was gone. Paramedics fought in the sand, in the ambulance, but nothing worked. The coroner confirmed the nightmare. Drowning by asphyxiation, no bruises, no foul play, nothing. But tragedy. A family insider whispered that Warner's departure was swift and painless. Faint consolation swallowed by unbearable shock. Even with Costa Rican officials releasing every detail, Warner's death carved out doubts. Fans demanded answers. How could a man, once an athlete and still disciplined in fitness, not overpower the tide? Others pointed out that only 48 hours earlier, he'd been buzzing with energy, mapping out the future of his podcast. That contrast fueled speculation online. Some claimed a hidden medical condition stole his strength mid-swim, but others circled the archive's sudden unveiling, igniting wild conspiracies that Warner had been guarding secrets too explosive. And that maybe this accident wasn't an accident at all. His loved ones shut it all down instantly. His mother, Pamela Warner, released a short, firm statement, blasting the rumors as cruel, insisting, "My son died in an unforeseen accident." The only truth here is grief. Still, the eerie mix of a shocking death, a mysteriously timed archive reveal, and a life cloaked in privacy gave Warner's final hours a chilling glow. Not a crime mystery, an emotional one. How does a man overflowing with plans vanish in minutes, beneath the waves? A private U.S. funeral followed a week later, stripped of cameras, reserved only for family and inner circle. Every eulogy painted Warner as warm, devoted, and unshakably resilient. Online, hundreds of thousands flooded his socials, transforming them into a living shrine of love and heartbreak. And then, just when it felt like the storm was finally fading, when it seemed the book had closed, the archive cracked open again, revealing handwritten letters, unseen family photos, and raw personal notes that instantly reignited conspiracy theories. Setting the stage for a darker chapter, the mystery he supposedly left behind. In the days after Malcolm Jamal Warner's death, social media and fan boards blazed with speculation. At first, it was mourning, but within days, the vibe twisted, fueled by whispers that a secret archive had been opened right after the funeral. YouTube channels, Reddit rabbit holes, and gossip podcasts ran wild. One camp swore the archive carried dirt from The Cosby Show's backlot, especially from the era before and after Bill Cosby's scandal torched the family image. They recalled Warner admitting heartbreak over watching the Huxtable brand implode, and theorized he'd been holding receipts too explosive to reveal. Another rumor locked in on his private life, 'cause Warner kept a secret marriage and shielded his wife and child's identities. Fans imagined the archive hid photos, letters, or revelations that could rewrite his legacy. A few shady outlets even splashed blurry leaks or half-baked documents, though none ever checked out as real. But the loudest voices went bigger. Warner had been gearing up to drop a Talal documentary or memoir dragging Hollywood's underbelly. And his sudden death was way too convenient. That theory thrived because in 2024 he launched his podcast, Not All Hood, where in recent episodes he teased untold stories waiting to be unleashed. And now, fans believed those stories never got the chance. But every wild theory smacked into two brutal roadblocks. First, the Costa Rican coroner's report stamped it plain: accidental drowning, no foul play, no intoxicants, case closed. Second, Warner's family, especially his mother, shut it all down, repeating over and over that there was no secret truth hiding behind his death. Even the press got involved. Heavyweights like People, AP News, and Variety all confirmed the archive was nothing more than personal mementos. Family photos, handwritten letters, film contracts, music notes, and a handful of keepsakes from his biggest roles. No smoking guns, no forbidden files, just the life he actually lived. But in an age where gossip travels at light speed and facts crawl behind, the correction never outshines the fantasy. For millions who grew up with The Cosby Show, Warner wasn't just another actor. He was stitched into their childhood. So when a figure that deeply woven into memory dies out of nowhere, clinging to conspiracy feels easier than accepting loss. In the end, the real mystery Malcolm Jamal Warner left wasn't locked in a vault or buried in whispers, but in the way he lived quietly, independently, and always shielding what he cherished. He exited this world the same way he moved through it, without spectacle, leaving behind artistry and questions that maybe never needed answers. Malcolm Jamal Warner may have passed, but what lingers is bigger than Theo Huxtable, bigger than awards or music. It's a life mantra: love hard, live kind, protect what matters. From red carpets to silent nights, his story proves the richest treasures aren't what we flaunt, but what we guard.